Welcome everyone, this is the 2021 Honda Accord Sport SE. The 2021 Accord is revised for 2021 with a little bit of updates on the inside and the outside, and in this video we're going to talk about all of that and take it for a test drive and check everything out. Can't wait to show it to you. Let's get started. Yikes, I know that audio sounds absolutely terrible. I don't know what happened. I just got home and it's picking up all kinds of ambient noise and the rain, and it sounds terrible. So I want to say sorry for that. It does get better, especially when I'm inside the car, but just want to apologize in advance. Now, right off the bat, I got to give a big thank you and shout out to Honda Cars of Rockwall in Rockwall, Texas. They were generous enough to provide this vehicle for me to show you guys. If you're in the DFW area, please be sure to check them out. I'll put their information down below. All right, everyone, let's take a look at the exterior details of this Accord Sport SE. So this Sport SE actually replaces the EX 1.5 liter turbo. There are some unique features about it. So first of all, the Accord is revised a little bit styling wise for 2021. You've got a little bit of a different grille, you've got different fog lights, and this Sport SE gets this dark chrome that runs across instead of a bright chrome or instead of black. And you get full LED headlights, full LED high and low beams, LED blinker, and the LED daytime running light. Plus the Sport SE gives us these LED fog lights down here too. So what do you think of that? It's a little bit of a low, kind of a mean, unique, but elegant front end. Another new feature for 2021 is the fact that we have the Honda sensing a little bit better integrated than it used to be. And Honda says these headlights are actually better performing than they were last year. Now this color is called Sonic Gray Pearl. This is a brand new color as well for 2021, and it's only on the Sport, Sport SE, and the Touring models. The side styling is the same, but we've got these unique 19-inch wheels for the Sport models. Sport and Sport SE, they're kind of big. You know, you don't always see 19-inch wheels, but it's definitely a sporty look for the Accord. What do y'all think? And then dimensionally, the Accord stays the same. It is not too big, it's not quite full size, but it is still very spacious on the inside, so we will definitely check that out. You've got that same kind of fastback style coming out the back, the same shape, like the little claw to these taillights. We even have for our Sport model this black little trunk lid spoiler. And what do you think of this Sonic Gray paint? I think it's pretty cool. I think it looks nice, but it is unique too. And then down below, you've got the double exhaust tips that are a little bit concealed. And even though you get full LED headlights up front, you do still get an incandescent turn signal in the back here. And then while we're back here at the trunk, let's go ahead and take a look. And this is one area where the Honda Accord is really spacious. You get a little touchpad under there that you can just touch if you have the key fob with you. And you get 16.7 cubic feet back here. This is a big, spacious trunk, and it's got a pretty wide opening as well. You can split fold those seats, 40-60 split. You've got some cargo net holders, or those actually work really well for grocery bags. You got one on each side, and of course you get a spare tire underneath. Now under the hood, Honda actually updated the software management for this engine, so you still get a 1.5 liter turbo only on the Sport SE trim. You don't get the 2 liter. You'd have to go for a regular Sport trim and then opt for the 2 liter turbo, but you get 192 horsepower and 192 pound-feet of torque, and it is pretty punchy. This is still paired with the CVT transmission. You cannot get the 10-speed automatic with the 1.5 liter turbo. You'd have to opt up for the 2 liter turbo on a different trim in order to get that 10-speed, but miles per gallon is 29 in the city and 35 on the highway and 32 combined for this particular model. It will be better on the non-sport models, but we will take this for a drive and I'll talk all about that in a little bit. Now the key fob for the Accord stays the same for 2021, but you've got the smart key system and remote start on the Sport SE and the Sport 2.0. You can pull a real physical key out of here as well. So the way that their system works is there's these lines right here, push that to lock it, or you got a sensor in the back and it will unlock just like that. Or you can use your key fob like normal. But Honda also has a feature to where, I don't know if it's set on this car yet or not, but you can shut the door, walk away, and it can automatically lock for you if you want. You can turn that on in the settings on the main screen. Now let's take a look at these front seats. So Seats are a little bit different now since we don't have the since we don't have the EX model. The base Sport, the Sport 1.5 Turbo, now gets the 12-way power adjustable seats, which will include the 4-way lumbar, which is really awesome. So the seat can tilt, 4-way lumbar support. Those seats are not heated, but the Sport 2.0 will be heated. Now on our Sport SE, we actually get leather seats, which is sweet. The EXL used to be the only one that could give us leather seats. These seats look nice, they have perforation, they're heated but not ventilated, and they've got some nice bolstering to them, and overall they are very comfortable. I've had no complaints with them at all. Steering wheel is also manual tilt and telescoping. It does have a good distance, so no problems with that. And inside, there's a lot of space in here too. So people that have gotten the Accord for me before were like mid 6 foot, and they fit in here just fine. There's good legroom, good headroom, and it's just comfortable in here. Now let's go ahead and look at the whoops. Now let's go ahead and look at the back seat. So back here, you actually get, like I'll tell you when I talk about the front, but you actually get a rear seat reminder. So if you have something back here, and if you start to get out of the vehicle, the car will let you know, so you don't forget a pet or a person or anything back here. And these seats still look the same. They look very nice. You got leather seats back here still, which is impressive for this price of a vehicle. My only complaint is that they have little perforation holes, which is easy for, you know, crumbs or, you know, dirt and stuff like that to get inside, but super small complaint, really only if you have kids. The Sport model and up will give you 2 fast charging USB ports. You've got this big wide opening here, but we don't get actual direct air conditioning vents in this trim. You just have to rely on the ones up front. There's a pretty large center folding armrest that does have some nice padding and decent sized cup holders. And legroom is fantastic in here. I mean, I'm 5'9". This is about where I would normally like to sit. There's a lot of foot space, a lot of knee space. There is a hump in the middle, but you've got good space over there too. So very spacious back seat, which is one of the big deals for the Accord. One thing though is you kind of get some plastic up here, which is surprising, but it is not a upper trim. Still get nice soft material here, bottle holder and storage. And I can sit up tall without my head touching. I can feel my poofy hair touch a little bit, but most adults should be very comfortable back here. All right, now let's start on the inside. Go ahead and push button start right there. Everything starts up nice. Now, first of all, every Sport model is going to give us this leather wrapped wheel with the paddle shifters back here. And they don't feel super cheap like some paddle shifters do. And this steering wheel is just really nice and comfortable. You've got all the necessary controls for your information display and radio, voice, all that stuff on the steering wheel. Now over on the door, you do get some nicer material up above that is, you know, semi-soft, kind of a unique trim piece right here. Soft material right here next to your arm as well, and a really soft armrest. It just gets kind of skinny back here, so I'd like to see a little bit of a wider armrest. But front 2 windows are automatic one touch up and down, and my bottle doesn't really fit in there. It is pretty tight, but I think most bottles will, and there's a little extra storage. And as we move across, everything is going to look very similar, just like the last year of the Accord. You have the same trim down here like you do up on the door going across. But now for 2021, that screen, the 8-inch screen, is now standard on every trim, even the base model. There's also some big news. Apple CarPlay is now standard on there. You got Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, and we even have wireless Apple CarPlay. So that's pretty cool. You don't even have to plug in. You can have wireless CarPlay on here. On these Sport models, Honda gives the audio system an 8-speaker 180 watt system. So it's nice to see 8 speakers instead of the traditional 4 or 6. I'll let you be the judge of how it sounds, and it's pretty simple to use. It's maybe not as responsive as some other systems, but there are quite a few customizable settings in here. I like how you have actual physical buttons on the side, so you have shortcuts to like your clock, phone, audio, the source of your music, and you have a volume knob and a tuning knob, so it's simple to use. And the tablet style, one thing about the tablet style is it's in a good line of sight when you're driving, so you don't really have to look too far down off the road. Right up here for our gauge cluster, you have temperature on the left, and then some real crisp, white, clean gauges, fuel on the right. And then on the left, you can use your steering wheel to control everything over here. You can have the tachometer like you saw, your range and fuel, speed, trip computer information, even audio, phone, traffic sign recognition, all your driver assist feature type of stuff down here as well. And as you'll see on the steering wheel, we do have Honda's advanced driver assist features. We've got like radar cruise control to where you can adjust that, lane keeping system where you can adjust that. And I don't have a demonstration video with Honda or Acura, but I would like to get one hopefully in the future. And Honda even made a couple updates for 2021 for its Honda sensing. So first of all, with the adaptive radar cruise, now it's supposed to have smoother braking when you're coming up behind somebody instead of like a full-on head rush type of brake. But anyways, and then lane keeping system is supposed to be better at keeping you centered in your lane and not be so ping-pongy. So those are improvements for 2021. Plus, the back seat gets rear passenger alert. So it will let you know if you're forgetting a pet or child or anything in the back seat. Just below the radio, Honda gives us dual zone climate control. Everything is very easy to use. You can have you or your passenger, separate climate or separate temperatures, heated seats right here, fan speed in the middle, very simple. And let's go ahead and put this shifter in reverse. Check out our backup camera. And we don't have a 360-degree camera in here, but you've got 3 different views. So you've got this view, kind of more of a straight-on view, and then looking straight down from your bumper if you're backing up to something. And these are dynamic lines when you turn the wheel. Now this still has some plastic on it. I'm not going to take it off for whoever owns this car, but nice, smooth feeling shifter. Right in front of it, you actually have a 12-volt power outlet, a couple charging ports, and a nice big rubber mat down there for a little bit of storage. And as far as sport models go, you can get wireless charging on the Sport 2.0 turbo, but not the 1.5 liter turbos. And looking at the rest of this center console here, really nice big bottle holders. They can literally like swallow up anything. And I like the material here. It's not the shiny black plastic that gets fingerprints and scratches. It's actually a nicer looking material. Economy mode, sport mode, auto stop start, which is supposed to be improved and be a little bit quicker and more efficient than last year. And then your electronic parking brake and automatic brake hold. And this armrest is fantastic for a car. It's really long, it's nice and wide, and it's pretty soft too. But you open it up, you got a 12-volt power outlet in there, you got this movable tray that you can take out, but just a nice large storage area for this class of a vehicle. And I'm happy to see that Honda actually gives you a lockable glove box that is soft opening. Right up above you get sunglass holders. That actually looks like a pretty good sized bin. Regular incandescent light bulbs. There is no sunroof in here, and same with the mirror. It's just your manual flipping mirror in this Sport SE. No sunroof in this model. And then a quick look at the visibility out the back. I'll let you be the judge. Let's get this thing on the road. All right, let's get behind the wheel. Push button start. And there are some changes for the way that this 2021 Accord drives. Updated software management, so we should get a little bit better throttle response and more linear acceleration, it says. And it's been a while since I've driven an Accord, so we will see how it does. But let's go ahead and talk about ride comfort, handling, and all of that in this test drive. And my first impression, anytime I get behind the Accord, the wheel behind the Accord, is I like this steering wheel. It just feels nice. It's got a good grip to it. And I like the seating position in the Accord. You have a lot of room in here, but you can sit low or you can sit kind of high if you want to. But I just like the ergonomics and the way everything feels behind the wheel of the Accord. And just a reminder, this is the 1.5 liter turbo with the CVT. If you want to see the 2 liter turbo with the 10-speed, be sure to look in the description box below for a previous video on that. Just with a little bit of throttle, it's quick to respond. That's one thing about a turbocharged engine, is that you don't have to get those RPMs up very much in order to get some power out of it or to get a good amount of push. Now this road that we're on does have some broken pavement, and I've got to say that the Accord, it feels nice, it drives nice, it handles nice, and the ride comfort is good. The steering feel, the weight of the steering is also good. It's not super sloppy, but it's not super touchy either. It's not quite as quick and responsive as a Civic steering. Civic steerings are, I mean, it's just like a little go-kart almost. And this isn't quite like this. It's a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more refined. And I have driven an Accord at decent speed before, but I haven't really been able to push them too much. And they are very impressive, especially when you get that adaptive suspension on the Touring model. Broken pavement here. It's just comfortable. And I have not been able to have an Accord for long term to where I can do my decibel ratings, my tests for that. But just from, you know, first impressions, it seems like a quiet car. And I want to talk about the noise in here because I used to drive, I had a 13 Honda Civic, and that thing was so loud inside. It was ridiculous. And it is a vast difference with the new Civics and with these Accords. And that was responsive. So with the CVT, sometimes you can get a real drony sound, just a constant hold the RPMs up. But that was fairly linear. You don't get the same 4th gear, 5th gear, 6th gear type of feeling that you get with regular automatics. And most of you with this CVT won't even really notice that it's there or what kind of transmission it is. It just drives nice, and that's the main thing. Now let's go ahead and get on it a little bit. So with that CVT, you could kind of hear, you know, you get up to the RPMs and then you get a little bit of a dull kind of rubber bandy effect, but it's really not as bad. I mean, this CVT performs well compared to other CVTs. And I'm not going to talk about CVTs anymore. I just put it in sport mode. Automatically, the RPMs went up. Sport mode is going to give you more responsive throttle, a more fun driving experience. From a stop, you don't always notice a whole lot of a difference, but when you're already up to speed and you get on it, that was quick to respond. Yeah, that was nice. Now, that 2-liter turbo Accord is really quick. It's actually faster if you do 0 to 60 time than the old V6s. And this 1.5-liter turbo, some of you might dismiss it just because it's a 1.5-liter engine, but with this turbo on here, this car is still pretty quick, and it's faster and more responsive than many of the naturally aspirated 2.5-liter or 2-liter engines that you'll see out there. But overall, ride comfort is good, handling is good. It's just a very well-rounded and well-packaged car. You'll enjoy driving the Accord, especially for this class. It's one of the best all around in terms of what it offers, how it feels, how it drives, its efficiency. But if you own one, I'd love to hear your thoughts down below, or if you've driven one, please leave your thoughts down below as well. Now, let's go ahead and wrap things up on this Accord. So what do y'all think of this 2021 Honda Accord Sport SE? I like what Honda did with it. I like the fact that they got rid of the EX, gave us this new trim, but you still get a lot of value with this car, especially the fact that you get the wireless Apple CarPlay, the leather seats, the style, without having to go with a non-sporty model. I wish they would have still kept the EX and just added this one in there, but I'd love to hear your comments on this Accord. Even the Sport 2.0 and Sport models get a little bit more for this year as well. And I'll be bringing you more Accord videos coming soon. Be sure to subscribe for those. And if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. Thank you again for watching, and thank you to Honda Cars of Rockwall for providing this vehicle. Have a great day. Now, if you stuck around for the whole video, despite the terrible audio, I want to thank you. Thank you so much for watching. Next videos will not be this bad. Thank you again. Have a great day.